Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Same map, same position, same tank. A tier 9 and 10 battle this time. Very similar to what we talked about on Monday. In fact, the Monday game, or the video I showed you on Monday, was a couple days before this one, and that was kind of fresh in my mind when I spawned into this. You will notice that, however, on this one, on this particular, or in this particular match, there's only one scout on each side, and they have a Sheridan. So this is a massive advantage to our side, to be honest. If you're a good Mana Core player, you should be able to fairly easily beat a Sheridan, all right? You can make a mistake. He can play really well. You can always make a bad position or a bad push or something like that. But I should have an advantage, at least in terms of the tank, in terms of spotting and camo. All right. So I said yesterday I would show you a way you could do this move that's maybe a little safer. Just watch what I'm doing. All right. Notice I didn't go up here, where I'm getting a little bit more exposed as I get higher and higher to guys down in here and their view. If I'm down this way, notice that I still have some bushes here between me and the most important bit about this particular situation is this bush right here. See that bush right there? I'm circling. That is a great counter bush. Even a Sheridan can pretty well get into that before the other team's light tank, moi, can get up into here. And because that line of sight, because that's higher altitude, the line of sight is easier. So if we zoom in like this, it's hard to see here. If I can just get out. Notice, see how I have these, that bush line is between me and him? That's not true if I'm up here. So it's much harder to get up into the higher part of this line and easier down here. Now, it's not as good a spot, but it's pretty close. Another option is, if you're even more worried about it, is one of these bushes here in the middle. You can go to here. Or as far as these right here on the line. The only problem with these right here is if somebody YOLOs into the bowl, they can get close enough to proxy light you, so you do have to be careful. If they come up the edge here a little bit, they can proxy light you in these bushes here. One of the problems with where I am is getting out of it. If I had got lit, whatever's over here is going to have a bunch of shots because they have some decent altitude here that they can shoot at me. I've also got to dive down. It takes me a while to get back into my bowl over here, etc., etc. At least you can bail out of this one here or the bush line a little easier. But I took that spot, so that works. Now watch what happens here as we move along. We get the Centurion gets lit, not by me. Maybe me. Yeah, it looks like it was me. And I can see all the way over there. I just got spotting damage, fellas, but for the Centurion. Notice that my spotting ring is way over there, and he just doesn't have the camo. I have enough altitude to see him. We'll start lighting some other guys here pretty quickly. 257. A couple of these guys get smart, so just watch how this goes down. 257 gets lit. If any of their team decides to push forward on the 1-2 line, I'm going to have them. Notice, however, that I don't have a whole lot of help on the 1-2 line. I have a char, 2 chars it looks like. Are they in platooned? They are indeed. I have 2 chars platooned. I have a 110E4. That's it. Look at the shots going in, fellas. Look at the shots going into the bush right there. Now they know we have a Mana Core. I haven't been spotted. So there'll be more shots going to that bush here. Maybe I shouldn't show people this. Maybe they'll start. I actually will shoot into this bush as well. If I take a couple pokes into the high area right there and I don't hit anything, I might shoot another one into this bush right here. There's another one going in. Someone's shooting a little lower that time. And I don't think they necessarily have any good info on there. Maybe the Centurion clicked, or the 257 saying, hey, yo, somebody's up in the magic bush, potentially. But it also may just be one of those general practice things. Now, that is not me seeing the 110E4, but here comes the Super Conqueror. We do have 2 artillery. One nice thing about this position and spotting guys on their back slope is artillery can get to them, right? Artillery can get to them. I'm going to turn around here just in case I need to bail out of this thing. Where's the Sheridan? Well, he was last seen on their hill. That's what I know about him right now. So I'm already kind of looking at this going, well, if the Sheridan's over on their hill, I'm about to move up this line. I should outspot everything over here. I don't see anybody in the bowl or poking the bowl. There, ooh, okay. Somebody shot into the lower bush. I'm out of here, fellas. I'm out of here. I'm not getting any lights, right? I didn't see anyone. They're shooting all into that bush line right there. They actually started to shoot at the lower one that I was using, thinking I was very clever. So let's just change this. The Sheridan is over on the other side. Sheridan is over, or is he? Watch this, guys. This is interesting. So we'll scooch forward here. Be very careful. Very careful. Just kind of move along. What? Oh, what? He was right there. He was right there, my friends. Oh, man. Was he moving? Maybe he was moving, actually. I thought he was in the bush. But it looks like he metaflexed, guys. The Sheridan metaflex. So let's go ahead and watch with the camera and see if I just happen to catch him moving around. Look at the 110E4. He's ready. 110E4 is ready. We'll just scooch along here. Okay, so he was coming back this way. He lost some significant hit points. I thought he was actually in that bush, but let's stop here for a second. This bush right here is the one I was talking about. You can sit in there and catch guys moving around. Okay, you can also counter guys trying to get high up here in these bushes. So that's the position I was talking about. This is a huge kill. Once the Sheridan's gone, I basically have almost no competition, right? There's almost no counter to a Manicore on Prok on this 1-2 line, except for an absolute YOLO or a total mistake by the Manicore. So we're just going to sneak here. Now I do have to be careful. That is almost a huge mistake on my part, and probably the most dangerous situation. Remember when I said you could maybe get up to these particular bushes? I was actually speaking about these back here, but the concept is the same. You're on the edge of these bushes. Look at the proxy lighting circle. He doesn't have to come too far towards me, too much further before I am proxy lit. And then I just I'm deleted by whatever's sitting on this line, because what could be here? What's not lit? Well, the Rhinoceronte, the T-57 Heavy, the T-30, the T-95, and whatever of these guys that have formerly been lit that may have swung back over to this position. So there's probably a lot of them. Oh, found the Super Conqueror. He gets lit. And check this out. The T-50, the Skoda gets it. He's like, I think somebody is in these bushes here spotting me. Because he doesn't come very high before he gets lit. Watch this. I'm like, oh, I think this dude might be thinking about trying to come get me. I may have to bail out of this. So I'm going to spin around. Yep, there he is. He gets lit. Look at his turret. It's like, okay. Somebody must be close by here. You're going to find this in the higher tiers, tier 8, 9, and 10 typically. Look at him. I see him back up, and I know exactly what he's doing. He wants to come up here a little bit further down. So where he's coming up, so you got to play this, and it's pretty flat right here. So if you know somebody's in this area, you want to come up where it's steep enough that if you do get lit, you can dive back down. It's not very great all along here, but it's a little bit better further to the south. So he goes ahead and heads off that way. So we'll just bail out of that for a second. If he wants to YOLO in there, I don't want to get lit. We'll just hang out here for a moment, see if I can find him. Super Conqueror, I'm gathering up a little bit more spotting damage there. The artillery is absolutely flying every direction. Still a really even game though, fellas, right? Just because we've got a Manicore on this map doesn't mean we've auto-won this. There he is. Nice. Very good. That's what I was waiting for him to get a little bit more aggressive. He gets thumped a couple times. That's very helpful indeed. That should dissuade him from doing that. He came up pretty high. I bet if I was still there, if I wasn't proxy lit, it would have been extremely close. Also realize that tier 8, 9, and 10 mediums can run CVS, which can be helpful for them as well. So let's get a little closer this time. If he wants to come up again, maybe we can get him lit. There he is. So he pops up there. And this is a hopeless feeling, guys, from the south spawn. That you keep poking and you know it's the bloody Manicore that's spotting you, and there just isn't anything you can do unless somebody is absolutely willing to run down the 1-2 line and either proxy light the Manicore, make him make a mistake, or chase him off. And in doing so, you generally lose all kinds of hit points. I think he just gave up. He just drove up and over and said, screw it. This sucks. Down goes that guy. Now I'm free, fellas. We have freed the Manicore. This is what you're looking for. I don't know why the 110. Be careful, dudes. If you're TD, there's no reason for this TD to be here, guys. I think he's looking for maybe a shot across here, but this is really close. He's just asking to get deleted by their campers if he gets lit. He's okay now that the Super Conk-ish Now the Super Conch and the Skoda are gone. But there still could be somebody lurking relatively close. So I'm going to be very careful right here. I am a little bit concerned about something being up in these bushes here. But I should outspot them. So we're just going to creep forward, try to stay in these bushes. We don't want to get into the road because there's a nice line of sight, as you can see down the curve of the road right there. We do not want to get into that road and give them a nice view if I poke out. Oh, look at this. There he is. Got one of them. Hey, fellas. I'd look back like, hey, guys, here you go. There we are. Very nice. Start deleting this fella. Come around here. Ooh, I don't want to knock trees down. Look at, oh, okay, found another guy. That's nice. Scooch, scooch, scooch. Great, T95. I love it. The T95 is problematic. He's got really good armor at the range these guys are shooting. I figured there probably was another guy like him. Let's go ahead and get the T57 deleted. If I can get him deleted, then we can start working on the T95. Now I'm going to make a mistake right here. We have a really good lead, and he just pushes, so I got to bail out of this a little bit. I don't want to get proxy lit. There we go. He had no choice. The artillery's firing. Oh, there they are. We got all kinds of artillery. Let's just collect some more spotting damage. There's the T95. He's also got a little bit of armor in the dead Rhinoceronte there. Boom, boom. All right. Mistake time. We're really getting into domination. This game is pretty much over. What I should have done here is use the bushes and tried to track the T95, or maybe change position a little bit. The only problem is there are some guys behind me. So if I start shooting, there's the potential of these guys actually seeing me because my camo is going to decrease so much. What I do here is a bit of a mistake. I try to get around beside him, shoot him in the side, and track him. This is not a great tracking tank, the Manicore. The reload is so long, it just doesn't work great. I'm really hoping some hit points are taken off this guy. He's getting shots. So I really should have gone right about here, zoomed in on this guy, and just started tracking. He is tracked right now. But what happens is we're going to come in here, we're going to get greedy with the shot. Plain old missed, it looked like. So no track. This is a TD player, knows what he's doing, because he's gonna get me off of him. There we go. So there's not a whole lot I can do here, unfortunately. Oof. I think he just missed. That was terrible. I need to go for a track right here. I'm finally getting my reload on. I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and try to track this guy. Critical hit, but no damage. That's great. He's having trouble keeping his gun on me, so that works out for me. Someone else tracks him. All right, so I get away with it. Try to track him again right here. What? Okay. And down he goes. So almost a very dangerous error. Probably should have just tracked him from the bushes. Ends up working out for us. See if we get another shot on this guy. There we go. We actually get a kill. Very nice. And we're going to go grab up the last of the hit points on the map. We've got the Centurion 7-1. Pretty textbook takedown on the 1-2 line. Their Sheridan made a mistake getting spotted. I thought he was actually in that bush and I had outspotted him, but I didn't realize until I went back. This is the second or third time I watched it. I finally actually looked at it with you guys. He was actually surfing the ridge, which was a terrible idea on his part. We'll come in here. I sort of expected to eat a big Hesh round right here. He just saw me, so I just got close enough for him to see me. We're looking for that one more shot of damage here. Is he going to make a push? Yeah, we hit him. He hits us for 393. Actually gets us with the APCR instead of the Hesh. That was nice. And 9,166 spotting, guys. 751 damage and one shot of damage. I wanted to show you that like I talked about on Monday. Some of the ins and outs. That's a slightly different position you can go to right there. If you are in the magic bush, you can move positions. Sometimes when they're shooting in there, if I'm higher, if I actually got up to the higher position and they miss me, I'll often go to where they just shot. That's not necessarily always the best plan. You try to do that bit of a chess match thing. I like going to the lower bush. It's a safer bet to get in there, especially if you've got another scout that's countering or you've got a lot of tier 9 and 10 mediums. Guys carry CVS a lot, especially if they spawn into this map and they have a loadout for vision. They might actually have a medium with a CVS on it. So you can actually get countered by mediums on this map if they push into that corner where that T50 was and they're willing to get up in there and try to counter your scout, or if the Sheridan wanted to YOLO, or if he'd have gone to that bush I talked about. He didn't. Remember, we saw him first on the hill. He went to the hill. That was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. He was on his back foot against me because it's a Sheridan versus a Manticore, but he had to go over there to try to keep me from getting into that spot. And I think really with his spotting, if he'd have got into that bush, he could have jumped in that bush and probably, he might have even seen me, but at very least kept me from getting in the high bush, which I didn't go to, but potentially keep me from eating up the 1-2 line. But he went up on the hill, lost hit points, surfed, and got nuked because I was in a good position. Oh, people are getting mad in chat down there because I was in a decent position to spot him. Also, a discussion about countering that spot where I was with the Skoda T50. He knew what was going on. He did his best to try to find me, but ran out of hit points. I think he actually just gave up towards the end right there. And then pretty classic. Really, any scout can do this against things like T57s and T95s, but just gobbling up real estate and then spotting one by one the tanks that are hiding out. It's a helpless feeling, guys. You got a Manticore and your scout's dead and you don't have any mediums to counter the Manticore. You're just waiting for him to get in there and spot you and get nuked by all the dudes hanging out there. So there you go, fellas. Scout week. That's all I've got for today. Got anything to add? Go ahead and chuck it down there. We didn't discuss too much about the south. Just a couple of the counter spots that you can have down there. I find the south side to be a little weaker than the north side in terms of initial positioning, but sometimes the south side has a better chance of countering the north side's aggressive scouts, at least over on the west side of the map. All right, now I'm really done. That's all I've got. See you guys.